Hey, third grade. So, I have some pretty intense news. Look who's visiting us today. It's the editing police. Warning, warning. Okay. So, today we are going to be talking about editing inside of our Google Slide presentations. So at this point, you should have all of your typing done. Maybe some of you have pictures and some of you have been working on adding like those extra sidebars and those captions. I saw some really funny jokes that were added to some presentations. I saw some fun facts. I see some awesome pictures. Some of you are having a lot of fun getting creative with different fonts and colors. And it's really, really awesome to see. And both Miss Lutz and I and Mrs. Allen and all the teachers who have been kind of being able to watch you guys as you work are all so excited and impressed. But we have a very important job today. And today we have to be editing police. Okay. So here's our writing patrol. And our goal today is to, I don't know what side I should be on. Our goal today is to use this acronym COPS. And you guys, I think a lot of you are familiar with this already when we're editing. So when you think about what does COPS stand for, how are we going to use COPS to help us edit today? So C for NCOPS stands for capitalization. So you're asking yourself, do I have capital letters at the start of each of my sentences? Did I use capital letters for my proper nouns? Okay, so you have to kind of comb through each slide today and first glance, look for all of your capitals, anything that you need capital, right? Go through each slide and just look for capitals. Then after you do that, go on to your O. Your O is your organization. So this means you're taking a look at your sentences and your words. Okay. Does it make sense? Does it flow in the way that it needs to flow, right? Or do you have like your subject and your verb in your sentences, or did you just like throw a word in there and didn't finish a sentence, right? We're also thinking about spacing and sizing. This is kind of important, especially when working on computers, because sometimes spacing and the sizing of things and the text boxes and all of that, things shift and things change, and things are not the same in each slide. And as you guys are going to be presenting these, when you switch to each slide, and if the text is different sizes and all different kind of funky things going on, and some text is on top of your title or it's going onto your pictures, it's really hard for your reader to like hear what you're saying because they're so distracted by all of the spacing and the sizing. So also go through, and I'll show you guys today how to fix your text boxes and how to change your text so that it's all looking the same on each slide. So if you're using size 18 font, for example, make sure that your text in all of your text boxes for the whole presentation is size 18 every time. Another thing is to make sure that you're using the same font on each slide. So you might have used different fonts than what I use, and that's okay, but just make sure it's the same at each slide you go through. Because when you're presenting, if the fonts and the colors and the sizes keep changing, it's kind of hard to pay attention to the actual information. Think about it like a book. If all of a sudden each page of your book had different color text and different fonts, it'd be really distracting, right? So it's the same thing for our presentation. For P, that's our punctuation. So do you have all your end marks? If you need a question mark or an exclamation point or a period, are you using them? You're thinking about your dialogue tags, commas, and apostrophes. Make sure you have those. And last but not least, we have spelling, okay? What's really cool about working on the computer is when you misspell a word, the computer gives red squiggles and blue squiggles. So when you see a red squiggle, that means something is not right. Maybe you missed a space between two words and you made like one jumbo word and you have to separate them. Or your word is just spelled wrong, right? And now those red squiggles, if you click on them, and I'll show you guys how to do that today, it'll tell you exactly some options how you can fix it. Blue squiggles, right? Sometimes we also see blue squiggles. That means you might have used a word that you shouldn't have, but it's not spelled wrong. So think about like two, and two. Maybe you were supposed to use TO, but you actually typed TWO, right? Like I go to the movies and you wrote TWO. So you might have a blue squiggle pop up there because even though you spelled that word right, it's not the right spelling for that sentence. Okay, so blue squiggles are also really helpful. Now, not everything gets picked up by the squiggles when we're working on the computer, so you always have to kind of comb through and reread your work and look for any spelling errors on your own, because the computers are not perfect, right? So always go through with your own eyes. I'm going to shrink my video down here, and I'm going to share some editing that I'm going to have to do today. So I'll move myself right up here. Okay. So on this slide, I have my title, Deadly Floods. Okay. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to look for capital letters, right? That's the first thing on my list, my C in COPS. So I'm going to go through, I'm looking at the beginning of my sentences. Looks like I have, okay, that's a capital, 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 capital. Okay. Okay, so it looks like I have my capital letters. Doesn't seem like I have any proper nouns here, but I do see some squiggles and some other things that are popping out at me. So now I'm going to go to my O. My O is my organization. I'm looking for, do my sentences make sense? Are they organized in a way that's not going to be distracting to my reader? And I'm thinking about my sizing and my spacing. So if I look at all of my text here, I can highlight it, and right over here, it tells me the font size is 18. If you highlight all of your text and this box is blank, that means that your text is different sizes within that box, okay? This is also a good way to check, like if I go to this slide, if I highlight my text here, look at this. All of my text here is size 24, right? So I have different size text going on, and I might need to fix that. Okay. So maybe I'll make that other slide 18 as well. All right, let's go to P, punctuation. Okay, I'm looking for end marks, commas. Let's see. Flash floods are the most dangerous. There's my period. But looks like, this sentence is really close to my other sentence. Oh my goodness, I forgot a space. I just continued it and sandwiched it right on both sides of that period. So I'm going to make sure I go to the right of my period and beginning of the next sentence, and I'm going to add a space there. Ooh, okay. Did you know floods? Oh, there's the red squiggle. I know that's been like shouting out at us ever since I showed you guys this slide, and I found out what my mistake was. Did you know floods? I made no floods a new word. I need a space there. Can carry cars. That's a question. I use a question mark. It only takes a foot of water to carry a whole car. Okay, I definitely need a period there. Or maybe even, I think an exclamation point would go good here, right? Because that's like a pretty amazing fact. Floodwater might carry diseases, comma, I got it there. So it is important not to drink or swim in the floodwater, period. All right. It only takes 6 inches of water to knock you off your feet. Do I have a period? No period there. Okay. Period. Let me see if maybe it's an exclamation point. It only takes 6 inches of water to knock you off your feet. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So I'm going to do an exclamation point there. Okay, last but not least, I have to check spelling. So I'm going to go through this again, and I'm going to look for spelling problems. Flash floods are the most dangerous. They happen really fast. I like that. Did you know floods can carry cars? It only takes a foot of water to carry a whole car. This word whole is kind of jumping out at me because that's like a hole in the ground and not like whole, like the whole thing. When I'm thinking, I think about whole, like part whole. Oh, it has a W, right? Part whole, like in math. I know there's a W there. Okay. That looks a lot better. It takes a foot of water to carry a whole car. Okay, I'm good with that. Floodwater might carry diseases, so it is important not to drink or swim in flood water. Okay, that looks okay to me. It only takes 6 inches of water that's a number, to knock you off. That's the wrong two. See, this time it didn't have the blue squiggle, and neither did the word whole, but I went through and used my own brain. I'm smarter than the computer today, I guess. So if I need the right two, it only takes 6 inches of water to, just one O, knock you off your feet. And maybe I need knock you off of your feet. It only takes 6 inches of water to knock you off of your feet. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. So, boys and girls, you're seeing today that, oh, what does this do? Oh, that hid me. Where'd I go? There I am. So, boys and girls, you're seeing that I kind of went through that slide a lot, and it takes a little bit of like, you can't just go through it once. I really like focusing on each thing one at a time as I'm going through to edit because it helps me slow down and focuses my attention on one thing. Now, you guys might have noticed some mistakes as like maybe spelling mistakes while I was looking for capital letters, and that's okay. If you're noticing it, fix it as you go along. But sometimes when I do that as a writer, I forget the O and the P, and I forget other steps in the middle. So I always like to go one at a time. You might work differently, and that's okay. But today, our job is to be editing police on our own writing patrol and work on capitalization, organization, punctuation, and spelling. Keep working hard, guys. I can't wait for the finished product.